What's going on? Your host, LovelyCheesePizza here, and Share Factory version 1.08's done, apparently. And welcome back to Let's Play Tabletop Racing World Tour. And last time around, what we did was we got through the very first trophy, got that spark pluggy goodness, and now we moved on to the Twin Cam Challenge, and we get to do a couple of things. I picked up the Apple Watch today. I went out and bought one of those, and it's really weird. Whenever you get notifications, like a text message, you get like a little like high-pitched like ping noise, and it totally sounds like a microwave telling me that like my popcorn is ready. It throws me off every time. But we get to do two new modes of stuff today that I'm super excited about because they're two of the cooler modes in this game. So Pursuit mode, essentially, if you guys didn't read that there, essentially what happens is they will put whatever track you're on, there's one other rival car, and they put them like half the track ahead of you, and you just have to try to catch up to them. And once you catch up to them, the race is over. But you have to do it in a certain amount of time, otherwise, you know, you're fucking screwed. So we'll have to see if we can do it. The very first time that I had to do this in like in the next thing up, as far as I think it was like the next thing up where you start using like the more sporty race cars. Trying to do it with that was so hard, but I didn't realize it until like a couple days later that I was totally using the wrong tires for it. I was actually using the drifting tires, which would make something like this where you're trying to, you know, go as fast as possible and have really clean lines. It would make that virtually impossible. And it did, actually. I never even came close until I realized that the drifting tires absolutely make you slide around like, you know, your ball sack is out in the middle of, you know, out in like a frozen lake or something. Okie dokie, we're gonna get one of these coins here, just so we can get some extra points out of it. We're definitely gonna, we're gonna get through this, no problem whatsoever. Dude, by the way, speaking of, since we're driving awesome cars here, I can at least make mention of it. When I was, oh shit, we need to kind of go a little faster here. We need to do it, and we're good. I'm just gonna give him a little Ferdinand butt ram there. I don't think that Ferdinand Buttram is an actual name of a person, but it is today. And we got coins for it, so that's good. But when I was in Los Angeles, go fucking figure, by the way, because everybody that lives there that's not in the heavily poverty-ridden areas is rich out of their damn colon. And so, yeah, real quick. Elimination race, it's basically a standard race, but whoever's in last place at the end of the lap is automatically eliminated. So, I mean, literally you have to get first place. It's just not acceptable on the final lap of the thing. You get like zero compilation or zero consolation for getting anything other than first in this, pretty much. But yeah, dude. So the very first night that we got there, we went to go see Joe Budden, which was like it was like a bucket list thing for me. That's been a rapper that I've really wanted to see for a long time, as I was telling you guys over the last week, essentially. And I finally got to see him, and it was super tight, man. It was an absolutely fantastic show, and really, like, if there was one thing that I learned over this weekend, was that having flat feet and going to concerts is one of the worst fucking things in the world. Dude, I was dying. I was physically actually dying from having to deal with that. It was absolutely insane. Just like having to stand on that gross ass, like, just hard concrete floor with virtually no sort of mitigation in terms of just how horribly hard the floor is, and having to do that for just like 5 or 6 hours. And having just people jumping around into you, and having it be really hot in there, and everybody's all sweaty, and oh god. But that's a different story. I got the divine opportunity to see some of the most beautiful cars I have ever seen in my life. Namely, one of my favorite cars all time, ever since I was a little kid. I got the opportunity of, in the parking lot where we parked our car to go to this concert, like 2 spaces over, I shit you not, was like a brand new, I don't remember the name of the model, but it was it was a brand new, or within a year, a McLaren coupe. Oh my Jesus! It was. I think it's like a McLaren SC 650 coupe. Oh dear God! It is. It was one of the most beautiful sights I have ever seen. The car retails. It retails for like I think it's $265,500. So you know I could totally go and buy one of those right now. Just put it on my tab. And dude, I saw that and my jaw literally about fell all the way through my pants and out of my dick. I couldn't even believe it. I was just like drooling over it, and my friends were like, "What's the big deal with you in this car?" I was like, "Dude, I used to have like when I was like 7 or 8 years old, I had my grandparents get a subscription of Road and Track magazine for me just so I could, you know, see pictures of it, which I found out later was a really ill-advised idea because I could have just gotten, you know, I could have just bought the new issue of Road and Track magazine like every fucking like couple of weeks or whatever the increment of time it is that those come out in. I could have just gotten those from the grocery store like any time. But you know, people make mistakes, and you know you. Whoa, God! Well, that was a pretty ill-advised move right there too. He's, I'm gonna take the sideway. Wham! Nobody said these guys were all the smartest people, because they are absolutely not. But yeah, dude, I saw that thing and it was like, I wasn't really a huge fan. I'm not really a huge fan of the color scheme of orange and black. I mean, orange is the new black, but which I saw that for the first time last night, by the way. That show is fucking awesome. Like, I heard there was like almost an overwhelming amount of like lesbian stuff in it, which I don't really have a problem with that one way or the other. But as far as just like a good show with like kind of a fairly accurate depiction of what prison life is like. Not saying that I've been there that I would know, but from what I have heard from people that have been, or know people that had, you know, for people that I know that knew people that were in there, this is it's fairly a lot like that. And it's just really good. It's like really gripping. Like the characters are actually pretty interesting. I was thinking, you know, because everybody like, whenever you ask people about that show, they're always like, "Oh yeah, man, it's pretty funny." And like I was thinking, I don't know if I really want to watch like a prison show for comedy, but it actually is pretty funny. But there's like a really good blend of like comedy and like really serious kind of drama-y stuff, and there's really good like action stuff that goes on in there. And it's good. It's really fucking good. And I only saw 2 episodes of it, but I think I'm definitely down to watch more of it. So there's that. But yeah, dude, that McLaren, with that like predominantly orange color with black accent on it. Oh my God, I just about creamed myself when I saw it. And the guy that was driving this car was like the shadiest fucking dude in the world. I couldn't believe it. He literally looked like the ultimate loan shark. Like he came walking up to this thing, and he's got like this kind of weird, like weirdish tan colored suit, you know, suit and tie, wearing the whole, oh fuck you and Mr. fucking dirty ass slug bug, you little surfer junkie, you. He like totally got in the way. I was trying to hit a shortcut and he wouldn't even let me get away with it. God damn it. Oh well, it'll be fine. I love that somebody left their wallet on the counter of this sushi joint. It actually makes me laugh. Just about every... Oh, no! Okay, here's the shortcut if I can actually get away with it this time. Just jump right across here, and it didn't work. It's a very intricate thing that's actually pretty hard to pull off if you're going fast enough, and we actually put ourselves at a very large disadvantage by doing it. But I think we'll be okay. We just gotta have a really clean last lap, and we'll be fine. But yeah, dude, this guy, he's got like the whole suit and tie thing going on, but he's just a fucking greaser, man. You could tell that guy was making some shady deals in a back alley somewhere. And, yeah, dude, hair, like, totally greased back. It looks like he should have been, like, in a dark alley by, like, a light post with, like, a fedora hat on, flicking the nickel up and down. Just giving you the dirty look until you finally approach him. Hey, you. Hey, kid. I got an offer for you that you can't refuse. You see, do you realize that volcanoes are a giant, giant hazard to your health? Well, I mean, I guess so. Well, you see, what you need is some volcano insurance. That way, just in case a volcano near you goes off and it destroys everything you have, you will be covered. Now, all I'm going to need is everything in your wallet and everything in your bank account. But that seems like a lot of money. Don't worry, because with this volcano insurance, we will replace everything that you have with stuff that is not yours. And then you find out later that he just like takes all your stuff and then you got nothing left at all. But yeah, that was just like the look that he had. He just had like this absolute super shady guy look. And then while I'm sitting here waiting in line for this show, I finally got to hear the guy, turn the car on and drive away down the street. And oh my God, when I heard that, my eyes just lit up. It was amazing. Like that was a full on moment that I had been waiting for virtually my entire life. I mean, I've seen like videos on YouTube of like McLaren F1s, driving on like, racing tracks and whatnot. But just like seeing one that's just stock, one that doesn't have like all the racing mods on it, just one that's just a regular one, which you think that people would get more, out of their minds for, the ones that have all the racing mods to it. But for me, like, seeing cars like that, I want to hear what they sound like, just like the way that they were built initially, without having all the extra stuff in it. And I heard it, and it just, it sounded so pretty. I loved it. I loved every second of it. So that was like one of my big things with cars while I was out there, man. It was so cool, though. Oh, shit. And I got to see a whole bunch of other, like, amazing cars that I've really only ever either seen in person, like, just a couple of times by complete accident or, just whatever. But I got to see probably way more than I had intended. I got to see probably, I'd say, like 7 or 8 Bentleys, which, my God, those things are expensive. I got to see a Maybach or a Maybach. I don't know the exact pronunciation, but oh man, I love those things, dude. Maybachs are so expensive though. They're like $310,000. And like that's a Maybach especially. I don't know why it's that car over other ones. Like I don't really have the same feeling about like a Bentley or like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or any of those other types of like high luxury cars. For some reason with a Maybach, I think it just because it kind of reminds me of like the Batmobile or like the sleekest limousine you've ever seen. It feels like a car that I myself wouldn't drive, but I would have somebody else drive it for me. It seems like one of those cars where like, take me around town, please. Take me to the show, por favor. I'd love to drive myself there, but I don't want to drive right now. And he's like, oh, sure, sorry, yes, of course. I'd love to take you wherever you want to go. Because I really want you to give me that huge-ass fucking tip for doing it. But yeah, dude, I saw that car, and I tried to get a picture of it, but I couldn't get my camera open fast enough. And so I couldn't really do anything about that. But man, I just saw so many cool things. I got to see Lamborghinis, I saw Ferraris, I saw a couple of like Bugattis out and about, and I got to see a lot of things that I didn't expect seeing going down like Sunset Strip and being in like Hollywood and all this stuff. I wasn't really anticipating seeing like people driving like fucking like Ford Pintos and and like really busted up Toyota Camrys and stuff. When you think of Hollywood, and you just think that everybody in that area is just only gonna have luxury cars, and there's just like no medium whatsoever. But I was very mistaken. There's quite a lot of everything out there, believe it or not. But before we run out of time here, since we're getting kind of a little bit close to time, dude, there was something really fucking weird that happened at this Joe Budden show that I was at. I mean, you kind of had like your standard fare of a concert where, you got you got the main guy that's performing, and then you got like all your openers, which this show had way too many openers. There's like 5 or 6 opening acts, which I feel like is definitely too many. Like I went to a Macklemore show a couple days later, and that one only had 2 opening acts, I think, and then it went straight to Macklemore. It went straight to the main deal. And for the Joe Budden show, there were like 6 opening acts, and so we were there for fucking ever. It was ridiculous. And to be truthfully honest with you, to be about as brutally honest as possible, all but one of those opening acts were fucking garbage. They were so awful. Like, I don't know what the deal was with the people they had on there, but the vast majority of them, I couldn't even understand them. Like, the main one was the second group of people that went up. I don't even know what their names were. I don't remember any of their songs at all. All I remember is, like, the entire time I was watching, I was just standing there completely, like, mind-boggled, because, like, I feel like it's kind of fucked up for me to say this, but I honestly can't understand anything that they're saying right now. It just sounded like completely inaudible garble the whole time. And, like, I could have sworn that the hook for one of their songs, I'm not fucking kidding, it sounded like, obviously they had to have been saying something different, because this would make no sense, either in context or out of it, if this were if this were like the name of their song. But it totally sounded like they were saying Taco Taco Drone. I'm not fucking kidding you. I mean, I could lie to your face if I wanted to, but that's kind of fucked up, and so I won't do that. But yeah, dude, they seriously had a song that was called, to me at least, sounded like it was called Taco Taco Drone. And they were just saying that over and over again. It was just like, Taco Taco Drone, Taco Taco Drone, and it's just like, and then they burst into, you know, the actual bars or whatever, and it just sounds like absolute, just, what in the fucking hell did I pay money to hear this for? It was just Taco Drone. It's just like, what is this right now? And like all of their songs were like that. It was just, what in the living hell right now? And it was more or less like that the whole time. And there was another guy that went on that, like, all of his songs were like uber political, and before one of his songs he's sitting here talking about he was like talking about like the Rothschild family, which is like, I think it's, I don't know the entirety around it, but I think it's like a group of like all the richest people in the world or something. I want to say that's what it is. I could be wrong. I think I might be thinking of something else. But he's like sitting here talking about like setting up this whole thing about his song being about the Rothschild family and all this stuff involving you know, people with all this money and whatnot. And then out of the blue, he's sitting here talking about, then he like burst into like all this super sad shit about like how, you know, he started from nothing, and now he's got to build himself up to the top and all this stuff. And he like brings out these they were basically strippers. I mean, that's basically what it was. They were wearing just about nothing. I'm talking, they were wearing pretty much dental floss on their ass, and like barely something that would be considered a bra at all. And they're just like sitting there gyrating around, you know, shaking their ass and grinding up on him and all this stuff. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, everybody was just baffled beyond belief. Everybody, like, the guys were all like, okay, this is cool, you got girls up here, but like, what in the fuck are you talking about? It was just so bizarre. But the ultimate moment of this show, outside of, you know, Joe Budden being absolutely amazing, was at one point, my feet and my knees were hurting so bad from just having stood in the same place the whole time. I was like, man, I need to go to the bathroom for a minute. So I go and walk down the hall to the bathroom. And keep in mind, I have no idea how this happened, because there's security guard. There's event security like pretty much right by the bathrooms, but I walk by, and I go into the men's bathroom, and as soon as I walk in there, I'm not even kidding, there are just 2 people in there just going to town in there. The guy just has this girl, and she's got like a foot on the toilet and her hands up against the wall, open stall, like, just leaving nothing to the imagination, and he is just railing the absolute bejesus out of her. And there was nobody else in there, and I walked in and I was just like, whoa! I just like froze, just jaw agape. And I was like, oh my god, I need to get the fuck out of here right now. I just turned, after I was able to like gather my bearings for a second, I just turned around and walked the hell out. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I couldn't believe they were able to pull that off, because at any given moment, any of the security could have walked in there and seen that, and they would have, you know, gotten kicked out and God knows what else. But like, as soon as I walked out, I was like, man, not only was that crazy, but more power to them that they had the balls to try that, and realistically, probably successfully pulled it off, because I don't think anybody called them on it. It was just crazy. I don't think I've been to quite a few shows in my life, but I have never seen that happen before. I couldn't believe it. Oh man, it was great though. So, and then speaking of balls and whatnot, even though I didn't mention it, this twin cam trophy kind of sort of looks like an upside down dick and balls, does it not? Kind of a weird malformed, like, radiation, like, mutant penis with weird, like, serrated balls, but that's kind of what I'm getting out of it. So, yeah, you know. So, my friends, we have run out of time for this episode, but when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Tabletop Racing World Tour, we're going to take on the Twin Cam Challenge, and after that, we'll be moving on to the Street Racers circuit. So it's going to be good times, my friend. And then we'll buy a new car and we'll be able to go on with our lives, and everything's going to be cool. So, until then, my friends, this is your host, Lovely Cheese Pizza, saying thank you guys for watching. Really glad to be home. Super happy to be making videos again. I got plenty more stories coming over the next, 5 or 6 episodes, and we're going to have some fun. So you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.